here today with Brenda Simmons, the director of the Southampton African American Museum. You've just concluded the 9th annual film festival for this. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
It was so exciting. Of course, as you know, it's a lot of work, and we start basically 6 months to a year ahead of time. And we go through the process of picking films and how we're going to set our program and a theme, and et cetera. So this year was the best. And we were able to get 2 grants, actually 3. We always get 2 grants, but we actually was able to get a second grant this year from the Suffolk County Film Commission. And that really, really gave us another boost to really reach out, and we hired public relations people this year to really get the word out, because after each film festival, we sit down and recap, and it seemed like each time that seemed to be the thing that was missing, getting the word out and getting the message out to all kinds of people, you know, throughout the whole East End and throughout wherever, you know. So that was the one thing we did this year, which was very, very, beneficial to us, I'm sure.
So you went as far-reaching as Manhattan.
Manhattan, they sent stuff out to Florida, because the key that the public relations people want to do this year also, not just to promote the film festival, but to also promote our organization. We started this back in 2005. I'm co-founder of this. The building was an old juke joint and a barber shop and a beautician, and a beauty parlor rather, and my aunt was a beautician there.
So you're from here, so this means a lot to you?
It means a lot to me. I'm born and raised here. And I'm over 50, and that's all I'll say about that.
And looking good.
Thank you very much. And so I've been here, and I've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot of transition. And I cannot stop with being an advocate. It's in my blood. And so this film that we saw, this last film we saw, Life Essentials with Ruby Dee, really was inspirational to me, because when you're on the front line and you're advocating, sometimes you get worn out. But seeing Ruby Dee and hearing her voice, the theme this year was Raise Your Voice, and to hear her voice and how she advocated and how she didn't, she was being threatened by the FBI and she's on the FBI list, that never stopped her, so that gave me a push to say, nothing's going to stop me.
So year one, when you started this, where were you coming from with the brainchild idea to start this?
Well, the crazy thing about this is, and I want to always make mention of this, Gloria Cannon, she's a local person here. She's really the one who said that we should have an African American museum here. And so she reached out to me, and she reached out to her daughter Bonnie, and they reached out to me and they said, we should start this. So we, like naive people, Bonnie and I, went to the town of Southampton and said, we want to start a museum, we want you to fund it for us.
Just the two of you did this?
Just the two of us. We went to a board meeting, and that's what we did. And at the time, Linda Cabot was the supervisor then. And so basically we had a meeting with her afterwards, and basically she said, well, are you a 501c3? We said, no. And she asked us a series of questions, and we were saying, no, this is something that we just want to start. So she said, well, what you need to do, you need to get your name out there. So the first thing I did was I did an art exhibit right in Town Hall, upstairs at Town Hall. I did an art exhibit. It was called Black First, All the Inventions of Blacks. And I did this wonderful art exhibit upstairs. And then we were talking, we said we should do a film festival. So our first thing we did was we did a film festival just for one day, a one-day film festival, which was on a Saturday. And then the following year we did another Saturday. I'm a poet, and I love jazz. And I said, we should have a spoken word live jazz night. Okay. So that's how we added the Friday night, with a spoken word live jazz. And I'm proud to say Certain Moves, Charles Certain and Certain Moves has been our house band, and they are phenomenal. People know them. If they don't know them, get to know them.
Was it always called the Southampton African American Museum?
No, it was not. It was called the East End African American Museum and Center for Excellence. And the Center for Excellence part was important for me because our mission talks about, having programs for the youth and for the community. So the Center of Excellence was something that we're still going to have. But the reason why we changed the name to the Southampton African American Museum, mainly for marketing purposes. When someone Googles, they want to find out what to do in Southampton, things to do in the Southampton. When they Google Southampton, we would come up. So that was a really important, thing we did just recently, as we were doing this film festival.
So in year 1 and year 2, you had one film.
No, we had all-day films. We had a children's film.
Okay.
We had a family film. We usually have a classic, and then we had a feature film. So that's kind of how we started. And it was just one day.
One day.
Not one film, but it was one day.
So how soon were you adding in more days and making an event for the weekend?
I think it was after the second year we added on the Friday night spoken word. And I think after the third year, or maybe the fourth year, we want to reach out to the young people. So that's when we decided to have a Thursday night. We would have a film and reach out to the local school system. And that's what we'd have a local film, and we have a panel discussion, and it was very, very interacting with, with the students, mainly high school students.
What are the differences you see from year 1 to year 9?
Wow. I think besides having more people on the board, which is very important, people know who we are now. They have the word that they know who we are. And now we've gotten Nigel Noble on our board now, and he's part of the Academy Awards. So we now have more access to films, too, and all access to people who are interested in the films. And I think even this year, even from the people from, I guess, hiring the public relations people, I saw people come from Huntington today. So a group came from Huntington. It was a group that came 2 days in a row from Bay Shore. So that's exciting to us, because that's exactly what we want to do. We want to reach out to not just the Eastern Long Island, but, as far as New York, we had people come from Brooklyn this weekend.
Can you come for the whole weekend and stay here locally and be in the vicinity, in the area, or do you have to come back and forth?
Well, the great thing about it, Southampton Inn was collaborating with us, and they had a wonderful packet. So that's something that we're going to continue to do. We collaborate with them where they have a wonderful package where they could stay at the Southampton Inn, which is walking distance from this facility, and they could come to the film festival, within that package. Includes coming to the all-weekend film festival.
Is this your dream now? Is it coming true and really expanding and as far-reaching as you want it to go?
Yes, this year was the best. It really was the best. But I have to be honest, my heart of hearts is to see that museum open.
Okay.
That's what it was really all about. We did this, started doing the film festival to get the word out about who we are, about the museum. So that really is my heart of hearts. It's really to open that museum.
So as you approach year 10, which you're starting to work on now, these are goals that are right now in the forefront as you begin it. Are there other things that you really envision for year 10 specifically? Year
10, I don't really have it right now because I'm exhausted, to be very honest with you.
But again, you look good.
But I know what we want to do also. Nigel Noble has he's a document, he does documentaries.
Okay.
So that's another additional thing that we would love to do, is to have him teach, young people how to do documentaries. So that's one thing that I think we might add next year as like a workshop or something like that. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But the other thing right now, again, I'm going back to the museum itself. We're getting very close to, as they say, getting the shovel in the ground. Right now we have an application before the Suffolk County because we need a new septic system there. So once that happens, we have an attorney that's volunteering to help us pro bono. She's already got application before the planning board, so it's moving so close now. And to me, that's going to be when I can really say, that's going to be like the fulfillment of my dream.
I don't think we spoke about exactly where it is.
It's at 245 North Sea Road in Southampton.
And that was the location that you always had in mind, or that was something that the board decided on?
No, we chose that building because it's in our community. It was the heart of that community back in the 40s. It's a juke joint, and many people don't know what a juke joint is. But if they've ever seen The Color Purple, I always kind of identify with that, where Suge was over there singing the pianos. It was a gathering place for African Americans at the time. It was, the racial issue was going on, and they wasn't always welcome in different places. Maybe they didn't always feel comfortable in certain places, so that was their gathering place. People came from Bridgehampton, East Hampton, Riverhead, all over to come to this juke joint. It's no longer there right now. Supposedly it was burned down, and I'm looking into that. But I don't know, I'm going to expose myself now.
So it has a history.
It has a wonderful history.
So let's expose the history.
Okay.
Is that what you were going to expose?
Well, the thing about the juke joint, as you know, it was a place people, a lot of the African Americans, they had cleaning jobs. They worked in the potato grader. They did all those menial things, those jobs. And so when they came to the juke joint, they just let the hair down, So that was a place where people let their hair down, and they just came to communicate and just be themselves, And the barbershop, I found out too, Emmanuel Seymour, as I was doing my research in my history, Emmanuel Seymour supposedly built that building.
Oh, so this really has a lot of roots.
Absolutely, in the black community.
Right.
So I can't remember how many years ago it was, but as working as assistant to the mayor, there was a letter came across the desk to him, and I opened all of his mail because I'm his assistant, and in this letter was suggesting that the building be demolished.
Okay, so thank goodness. Strange how you got this letter. Right.
It was really a blessing because I joked with the mayor, but I was very serious. I said, I'll be that one in front of the bulldozer,
Hands
and
up,
it's not coming
right,
down,
right.
But it was a blessing in disguise because that sparked into getting the identity of the building landmarked. And so it is the first African-American site in the village of Southampton to be landmarked.
So then, with this all in mind, is this important to how you even pick the board? Do you have a diverse board?
Yes, we definitely have a diverse board, and I think that's very, very important, because what we want to do, we want to reach not just the African American community, we want to reach the whole community. And I think it's important for all cultures to know each other. And I think that's how we'll be able to get along better. If I know your culture, you know my culture, we have more in common than we don't, than we do have anything different,
Do the films that you show have that kind of insight too, to kind of raise awareness? And as you said, this particular one was called Raise Your Voice.
Yes.
So is that also inherent, keeping that theme of diversity?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because a lot of times what we do too, we like to reach out not just to African American filmmakers or producers, but whoever. Long as the topic. See, that's what we ended up finding out.
Okay.
Is that we weren't going to restrict ourselves to just black producers or directors, but we also geared up the topic as well, and that was also something we did. But we also really definitely wanted to give new filmmakers and directors a chance too, because some people never get a chance. And I think a lot of times that's what a lot of film festivals all around the country is about. Producers and directors, filmmakers who's trying to get their film out. So we love to be a part of that as well.
So this weekend precedes other film festivals that are going to come up. Do you like having this special weekend to yourself and then it's followed by another film festival?
It was a method to my madness.
And so it would always be this way where you...
This was the first year we did that this year. So it was strategy, which I want to see how it worked. And it worked well. But I also, I'm a movie junkie. So I go to the festival that's come, the Hamptons International Film Festival. I'm not even ashamed to even say that. I go, I get my pad and I get the films. I'm there, like I get my lunch and I'm a junkie, movie junkie.
So you're the perfect spokesperson for all of this, correct?
How so?
It seems like because you love the films and then
Oh, absolutely. I was trying to figure out where you were going with that. Absolutely. I love films, and I love films that are different, and have a message, a heart message. And it's something that Nigel has said. We had an interview at another show, and something Nigel said that really stuck with me. Nowadays, a lot of films, it's like today, people want to they want to think for you. But a lot of documentaries, they make you feel. They make you go here, and that's what I love. That's the kind of films that I like, that make you think, make you reflect on yourself, get that mirror,
So some of these films that you even show at the festival may not have been shown to larger audiences, and you're even helping to get it even further out there?
Yes, an example, Belle. Belle was one of the films that I guess I'd seen, I don't know where I saw it at, but I was trying to find out where's it going to play, I want to see it. And we finally found it in East Hampton. and it was there for a minute, and then we finally found it for a minute in West Hampton. And then when I kept saying how wonderful this film, and no one saw the film. So that was another way we said, we got to get Belle here, because people have to see that. And of course, Life Essentials.
And Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station, exactly. Those are 3 films. And you know, you want to question why.
Well, I think what's really interesting also, in case people aren't aware of this, you also have these panels that are just wonderful. Would you like to speak to any of that, or how you put that together?
Yes. Last year, I think, I'm very proud to talk about this one. Last year we did Central Park 5.
Oh, okay.
And we had to search for the producer. We found her, and Yusef Salom came, you know, and then he actually came again this year, and he was the moderator for Fruitvale that night, so it was very good.
Well, I'm so proud of even being a part of any of it, and going to some of the films, and being your friend.
Yes.
But most of all, watching my friend bring something from year 1 to year 9, and now heading into year 10. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Is there somewhere we can see more about the upcoming year and planning? Do you have a website we can go to?
Yes, you can go to www.southamptonafricanamericanmuseum.org.
Thank you so much, Brenda.
Thank you.